Welcome to Lesson 2 for Section 5 of the BJCP Tasting Exam Preparation course on the Brewers Anonymous Homebrew Club. We're continuing to look at master level descriptions, and in this lesson, we're going to look at description level examples for Aroma. So let's get started with our usual disclaimer. This episode in this series is not affiliated with, nor endorsed or checked by the BJCP, the AHA, or any other organizations discussed in any episode of this series. All right, we are focusing on master level descriptions, and in our last lesson, we learned what that means straight from the BJCP. This lesson, we're going to see what that looks like in practical examples. We're going to build up to that master level description for each characteristic we're evaluating in a beer: the aroma, appearance, flavor, and mouthfeel. We're going to start with what you can consider possibly the bare minimum, but still at least accurate description. It's not citing something that is not appropriate for that style. It's just not very good, as we'll see. From there, we will step up to what could be closer to a certified-like rank evaluation from a certified level judge. After that, we'll look at a national-like level description, and then finally, we'll look at that master level description and what is going to be our goal when we take our exam. The reason we're taking this stepped look is twofold. One, we can see that when we really start thinking in terms of exactly what are we experiencing in this beer, we can fairly effortlessly go from that bare minimum to somewhere in the range of master with just a little more thought and focus on writing out our score sheets. That also helps show that aiming for that master level bullseye, even when we fall short, we're going to be a lot closer than if we go in just doing the bare minimum of work to get through the exam, which I don't think anyone would approach this exam doing in the first place anyway, but at least we'll put a spotlight on it in these lessons. So in this lesson, we're going to look at that bare minimum aroma description. Then we'll look at a certified level like aroma description, a national level like aroma description, and then we'll end with that master level like aroma description. So let's get into it now. We're going to look at the 4 different levels of descriptions for Aroma, 4-style 18B American Pale Ale. I use Pale Ale a lot in these courses because the definitive American Pale Ale, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, is readily available, and it's got a little bit of just about everything that we need to comment on for our score sheets, or at least if it's done well, it should. And if it doesn't have it, we can also comment on that as well. So, bare minimum aroma descriptions for an American Pale Ale. Smells like hops, maybe citrus, some malt, no off flavors. Is that accurate? Yeah. Is it complete? Absolutely not. No way. No way is that complete. It lacks, first off, intensity qualifiers. And hops and malts are actually categories, not descriptions in beer evaluation. It also doesn't address everything the score sheet says to address, like we looked at in Section 2 of Lesson 3. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Section 2 and Lesson 3, you really need to go back and check out that lesson before your exam. And of course, it's way too brief. We're not taking any advantage of the completeness score that we should be the easiest thing to get in this exam. This does not cut it. So let's look at something a little closer and a certified level like description. Medium-high citrus and pine hop aroma, low bready malt character in the background, clean fermentation, no diacetyl. This is better. It uses intensity qualifiers, medium, high, and low. It also uses more specific descriptors, citrus and pine for the hops, and bready for the malt. It also ticks off the other aromatics, mentioning the lack of diacetyl. By mentioning its absence, we're addressing the other aromatics, and it also shows graders that we did specifically look for it and didn't find it, knowing that this style could exhibit that character. This level of description, in reality, is what our bare minimum should be. This is what we should be building off of because it's much better. And with this base, we can now take a look at a national level like description, which is bright, medium, high grapefruit and resinous pine hop notes. Low supporting malt aroma reminiscent of fresh white bread. Very clean fermentation. No noticeable esters. No diacetyl. We're adding some more evocative language here in this description. Bright and resinous. We've bumped up the description of the hop from the general citrus to grapefruit specifically. Bready has now been elevated to fresh white bread. We've also defined a relationship between the ingredients. Malt supporting the hops. We've also expanded on the fermentation character, specifying no esters. If we can maintain just this level, what we're looking at right now for the entire exam, we are golden. But we can still do a little better and get a few more points to help ourselves out a bit. So let's look at what a master level like description would be for aroma. Prominent punchy aroma of grapefruit zest and sappy pine needles dominates. Subtle, low, grainy sweet malt provides a cracker-like backdrop. Pristine fermentation profile with no yeast esters or sulfur. No DMS or diacetyl notes. This is our most complete description, still using phrases that help evoke even more of a sensory understanding of what we're writing about. We're really narrowing down our descriptors. We're using words like zest, sappy, and cracker-like. We're throwing in some really clear descriptors like pristine and punchy. And this one will easily fill out our lines. We might even have to make our own line underneath that section to finish writing, and that's not a bad thing. So we have our goal. And we're practicing, right? Right? We should be. That's our best preparation. Practice, practice, practice. When you're practicing next, try to nail that master level aroma description. Do that a couple times. Fill out your whole score sheet, but really concentrate on aroma for a couple sheets and kind of get in that mindset of writing out everything the best you can with the most accurate description you can of what you're experiencing in aroma. Once you're comfortable with that and you're ready to move on to a new focus, we will take a look at appearance. And in fact, that is the next lesson. So I'll see you over there.